Are we live?
We are on.
Let's begin. Says the Gemara. What do you mean it says? When I say it, I say what I mean. What I mean when I say it, I say it. The Gemara is written. Tis written in the Gemara in Chagiga on page 5a. Ha'osa davar. Osa davar. So more like Misha osa davar. Go ahead.
He who does something.
One who does something. And we're talking about, I feel like I can't move. Can I move?
Yeah, you can.
I was going to go like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Should we start over?
No. He's through.
Ha'osa davar, somebody who does something which, the davar that we're talking about here is clearly something which is not okay. I feel emotionally better. Somebody who does a thing which is not okay. Umischaret ba. Umitcharet ba. They have charata. They have feelings of regret. Miyad mochlin ba. Immediately, he's forgiven. Crazy. Y'all believe it?
Even if you don't do the whole Teshuva process?
Oh, look at that. What's going on?
Yeah, what if you regret it, but you do it again?
Oh, my goodness.
Or you plan on doing it again?
As you're regretting, you're like, I feel so bad tomorrow 2 o'clock. That's not usually what's happening, but I think you're more referencing where a person after doesn't set up a plan to, or afterwards he goes and falls back to it. Listen, the Gemara seems to be saying a straightforward concept over here. Is it true that maybe we need to have, that maybe we need certain, steps, technically. There's certain technical steps that, perhaps there's certain technical steps that you got to take care of. But the answer is, miyad, immediately he's forgiven. Now, forgiven doesn't mean that you don't have to now go through certain experiences. There's two separate ideas. There's something known as kapara, and there's like tahara. There's like atonement and then purifying oneself. Right? So that is, like, let's say I go ahead and I smash into your surfboard while we're both surfing, which never happened. But let's say, because I can't get on the board. But let's say, we're both surfing, and and I come at you. Let's even make it purposeful, because otherwise it's like, what do you want? It happens. Whatever it is. Does it happen?
Yeah.
Do people bang boards?
It's not surfing, even I know.
This guy, Jeff and Bostonians. So I go ahead, okay, forget that example, I don't like it. I smashed in your car, right? Smashed in your car, and you come out, bro, you say the Hebrew, idiot. You guys are familiar with Hebrew, but anyway. Maniac. Classic Israeli words. And then I'm like, bro, I'm really sorry. And you see him sincere and real about it. We're good now.
Stuff to pay, man.
Well, but that guy apologized.
I mean, eye for an eye.
Holy moly. You sound informed to me.
Well, not like I'm going to smash your car if you smash mine.
But you got to pay for it.
Right.
Now you sound orthodox. Right? So that is that. If the guy, you got to pay for it. I mean, just eye for an eye. Just go to the apostles. So you sound Jewish. Right? So you got to pay for it. Okay, that's one angle of it.
But forgiven from a...
Yeah, and in terms of we don't have beef.
Yeah.
Right? But the reality is, there's something has to come from that, whatever it is. Now, let's take a look at something also from a physical understanding. The world is a vampire. But let's say it's not though. Secret, just hey. Okay, so now this the world we live in is all an analogy. It all. It's an analogy. That's it. You hear? The whole thing's an analogy. Everything's an analogy.
Okay.
This whole thing's an analogy. What's an analogy for? It's an analogy for the real deal, when life is really bad. It's an analogy for the next world, and it's also an analogy for this world, but for the spiritual plane. If you want to understand espiritual, then just take a look at the physical entity in existence, right? So for example, let's say a person gets a cut on their finger. So there are various severities of a cut, right? One could be tiny little thing. Okay, maybe wash your hands a little bit, just literally move on. You don't even need a Band-Aid, you don't need any cream, nothing. Move on with life. Sometimes though, it requires that you gotta scrub a little harder, right? Get the dirt out, whatever it may be, fine. Sometimes it requires you gotta bandage it up. Sometimes it's a little more severe, you need stitches. Sometimes a little more severe, you gotta take some oral antibiotics, right? You gotta take some antibiotics. I say cream and then antibiotics. Sometimes a person may need surgery. Sometimes, God forbid, a person may need amputation, right? Now that's very extreme, right? But once we're moving up the range of extremities, yeah? Just like in the physical world, there's such a concept that there is a residual impact that occurred that has to now be dealt with. I don't want to say residual, but there's an impact, there's an outcome that happens and it has to be dealt with. So too in the spiritual world, right? There is something that has to be fixed now. So you have to go through a certain process. The soul ain't no different. That is the soul, I mean, it's very different. But as an analogy, the soul has to go through these things as well. So they go through a process. And Maimonides go through, based off the Talmud, the Gemara, the Psukim, he goes through different examples, which I'm not going to do now because I don't have it clear offhand. You take a look through the Rambam, you'll see, there's a whole list about which ones require what. Sometimes you do a certain sin, you do something wrong, you say sorry, and it's over. There's nothing left. It's like that little, you banged your hand, ow, but there's nothing left there. It's just like, this is an initial nerve endings. There's no black and blue mark. There's no blood. There's no cut. There's nothing. You say sorry, you move on with life. But it's like, but you hit the soul, right? You hit it. There was a spiritual contact that now needs to be fixed. Unless it was so slight, it doesn't. You just say sorry, move on. You're good to go. Good. Then there's a level of where you cut the soul. You cut it. It has to go through a healing process. Now that healing process, depending on where we are on the spectrum of severity, will be commensurate to the level of severity it has to go through. This on some level is known as Yisurin. Yisurin. Yisurin means pain. Pain. But I'm about to share with you in an incredible idea. I believe I saw this from the Chassam Sofer, maybe others say this. Chassam Sofer, a great sage, says the following idea. CYP. Know what I'm saying? No? I'll say it now. CYP is choose your pain. What does that mean, choose your pain? If one did something where they need to get some sort of tikkun, that's got to be fixed up, it's got to go through a healing process, that healing process itself can be painful. All growth is painful. There's never going to be growth that's not painful. Right? We understand that, correct? All growth is painful. And also when you got to fix something up, that's certainly going to be a level of pain that you have to go through. Not because God doesn't love you, or doesn't care about you, or wants to hurt you. Just the opposite, it's helping you. It's a process of helping you. Roy, what does that mean, CYP? The person has to go through pain, but it doesn't say that you have to go through a particular type of pain, it says you have to go through pain. So what's pain?
You have to go through pain
If one, well, there's different levels actually. There's from the minus to status quo, and that's from status quo going up.
So that's like if you say
I'm referencing now the minus to status quo. It means I did something wrong, and now I have to fix that which I've done wrong. Right? So what does it mean done something wrong? What that means is I did something that wasn't right. That's complicated, right? There's two levels. There's the misasase and there's the low sase. If I didn't put on tefillin, I did something. I didn't do something right, and by not doing something right, that was wrong.
Was it wrong or was it neutral?
Wrong.
You don't think that there could be a neutral between right and wrong?
Neutral would mean that there's no problem.
There's no choice.
There's just no gain.
It's like saying, that's the saying, if I hire you to build a building and you don't build the building, you didn't do something right. It's not neutral.
Right, but when we're talking about putting on tefillin, we have choice and free will, and while putting tefillin on is a mitzvah, it's not the same as being hired to build a building in that capacity, because, I mean, maybe you could say.
Let's take one step back. I just want to tell you what a mitzvah is, and you know it, but I want to say it anyway for the crowd, just whatever. It is something that you absolutely must do. Okay, now continue. What were you saying?
Well, we can't do so many of them mitzvot, like physically.
Certainly that is truth, and I like chicken. That's a separate discussion. We can tie it in with the gematria. But I'll help you out. Yes, if you can't do it, then you can't do it. But if you can do it, then you must do it. And even if you can't do it, you must do it. You just can't do it.
If you
So
hire
what do
me,
you want from me?
if you hire me to build a building,
And your hands are tied up and you're stuck in a box.
I tell you, there's we decide on like a date that it has to be done by, and I don't do anything for one of the days. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm not going to still get it done. I might just need a day off.
Yeah, in the example you gave, it's a great, that would be beautiful. It's just not Judaism, but that was a good example. So one would say like, hey God, I hear about the Shabbos thing. I'm going to do it this week on Tuesday. God would say, that's cute. That's not what I said. If that were to be what I said, then you'd be right. But it's just not what I said. Now the concept of the day off, by the way, I don't know if we discussed this or not, the concept of chilling, we spoke about that. Okay, we'll do it another time. Chilling is very important.
This is my last day of classes before my program's over.
Okay, so you'll
So
never
I'll have
hear
to,
it. Oh, wow. So chilling is very important, a very crucial integral part of our Judaism, and it's not even like well, I guess you're stuck. No, it's actually part of the process. It is you are fulfilling your duties in this world by chilling, if you are what we call PC, productively chilling. Productive chilling is not just important, it's as important as productively, actively doing something. You need to chill in order to be able to allow certain things to work. Okay, but that's a separate discussion again. But you can't go and rewrite the rules. You could. You have the physical ability to write whatever you'd like. You just won't do anything. Like you say, doesn't change the truth. This goes back to the discussion we've had in the past. Truth is truth. I don't care what you think, and it doesn't matter what I think. What we think is irrelevant. What I mean by that is, our thoughts are not going to change the reality. The question is whether we understand what that reality is. Roy, that being the case, if I don't put on tefillin, I need a kapara, I need atonement that I didn't put on tefillin. Now that's called a bittul aseh, a nullified and active mitzvah. And then we have a when we're violating a los aseh, right? And if you don't agree with me with what I'm saying, then just get up and leave. Are you still there? All right. So then we have Mrs. Losai saying, do not do. When a person doesn't do not do, we need atonement for the do not. Now, again, I don't know everybody's background here. There's different ways. So there's a concept of being sensitive to people's backgrounds.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I'm from New York, so it's a bit of a problem. But I think the positive in me not knowing your backgrounds, even though I can imagine some of them, but the positive, the thing that's good, maybe not knowing, is I can actually just tell you the truth. Because no one else is going to be like tiptoeing around your sensitivities and whatever it is. To me, it's very simple. Since I don't know you, if I say something that offends you, it's clearly your emotional issue. Because I don't know you. So I'm not doing anything to hurt you. But if I end up hurting you, so go see your therapist, or both of them. Whatever it is, do what you gotta do. All three of them? Okay, see what you gotta do. However, back to our discussion here, is that we gotta be keeping Torah and mitzvahs. And if a person's coming from a background that never heard of it before, they don't know what this is, and they're like all new to it, okay, fine. So then we have to put into the discussion, slowly but surely, working it out, practically how to apply it. I'm just giving you the general rules, and then we got to break it down. This is obviously, this isn't everything in its entirety, right? So let's understand this a little bit more then. So we have to go through a certain level of pain, but pain, interestingly, physical and or emotional, because even physical pain is a level of emotional pain, right? There's certain, it's in the mind, right? Right? Whatever it is, it's all going to be coming through the same channels of pain. Right? You're saying that what's the difference between physical pain and what we would call physical and emotional pain is that emotional pain we hold on to longer, and physical pain generally we hold on to less long, unless you equate the physical to emotional, and then you hold on to it longer. Right? You get it? Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have the capacity, which is just a phenomenal thing that God gave us, the incredible ability, if we so desire, to control our minds, which will control the level of our pain, right? Which is just, this is an amazing concept. And people are like, can't control myself. What do you want from me? They hurt my feelings. And it's like, yeah, I hear you. You're an animal. Otherwise, like the animal just goes with the instinct and doesn't actually process and think through whether or not what I should do with this information. The human being takes it further. The human being says, you know what? Let me see. Do I have to accept it like that? Do I have to even let it in? I saw a meme that was going around that said, I forgot what it said, but something along the lines. I forgot the exact word, but it was something along the lines of, I see that you're trying to hurt my feelings. I only allow myself to be bothered by people whose opinions I value. But it was a good try. In other words, why is it that every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the street that says something to us, we not necessarily whoever does take it, why do we take it like that? That's just because we gave them a certain pedestal. The point is, we have the ability of controlling what we care about and what we don't care about to some extent, to some degree. What do I mean when I say SIP, choose your pain? It says to Tom Sofer as follows. You're like generally, you're an early riser?
Yeah.
What's early?
6, 5:30 on like a good run.
You're a 5:36 guy?
Yeah.
5:36, 30 fellow?
Yeah.
Yeah? 5:30 to 8? Say?
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. So 5:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're let's say 6 o'clock. Okay. How's that? Is that like a routine? More or less? Yeah, more or less routine. You ever have to get up earlier than that? Yeah, you got a certain meeting or a flight.
Flight.
It's usually flights, right? So you get up. Hard?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have in America we have a Celsius drink that.
Celsius?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
It's a drink called Celsius.
Yeah. It's like,
Oh, there's a drink called Celsius?
yeah. It's like.
They should have called it Fahrenheit. All the Americans are confused. They also have that drink called Naked.
Yeah.
You know that drink Naked?
Smoothie. Yeah.
Oh, naked juices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are legit.
I don't know if I don't know if it's kosher. I don't know anything. Maybe it's 100% juice. I don't know, but I just know that there's so many statements that can be made with that. I'm going to get it naked. You know what I'm saying? Where you at?
Naked.
Naked. You know? I'm by naked. Anyway, so Celsius, what is that, like a highly caffeinated drug?
Drink.
Yeah, highly caffeinated drug in the form of liquid. All right. It's hard. It's hard to get up at, let's say, 5 o'clock, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Painful?
Painful
experience, yeah. Now you can overcome that, whatever, but there's still a level of like, oh, it's painful getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Interesting. Painful. Choose your pain. You see, we have to go through a certain level of pain. So either it can be that we have to go through some sort of experience that's very not pleasant in terms of banging our leg or losing money or wiping out, you know, or whatever it is. But there's another thing that you can do is just get up early. Wake up early. Wake up early to go daven. That's painful. Prayer itself is painful. I don't know what that means to anyone here. If you're like the meditative type of whatever, it's not painful because it's probably not real. Whoa. You did not just go there. Meditation's easy. You know why? Because you do it because you want to do it. Anything that you want to be doing is going to be easy to do. That's why people have no problem when it comes to the idea of, I don't mind praying to God as long as I can do my own words. Right? In which case, then it's all about you. It's nothing really about God. And so it's like, yeah, but no, it's about me and God. Right? Do it when you don't want to do it. Let's see how that goes. Right? Prayer can be painful. You have to learn the language. You have to understand what it means, what it's saying. Shacharis, Mincha, Marav. Learning Torah can be painful. Says the Chassam Sofer, if a person goes through pain of getting up early to go to Shacharis, or in bed, you're in bed. I don't. And this would depend on group religious or not to understand this pain. Let me explain to you what religious pain is. A person gets into bed, they close their eyes, about to fall asleep, and then they remember one word. Ma'ariv.
Yeah.
Now get up, get out of bed, get dressed, go to shul. Like no, it's like pain. Go through that pain. Choose your pain. Tzedakah, charity. Painful. Yes or no?
Yes.
You get charity?
Yeah.
Every somebody
Ten
comes.
percent. Well, okay, my 10%.
You had somebody come to you and it's beyond the 10%,
Yes.
and they're like, "Can I get $5?" Painful.
Yes. But
$5.
yeah. But I think there's like a transition point from Yiriyat, like if you can move it from the Yiriyat. I don't think it's like happens everything in your life at once, but moving from Yiriyat Hashem to Avat Hashem, like if you can, certain things you can begin to frame as more like, I don't know how that process happened, but I felt that with certain things that it becomes more of just a, I'm really happy to do.
You're talking about Meiser now. 10%.
Yeah.
What about 11%? Whoa. 12?
Right,
15?
yeah,
20?
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you hit the aliyah?
Giving tzedakah in general can be because you can feel the pain of not having that money to be able to use, but when you recognize that the money is not supposed to be yours in the first place, it's a choice of giving that pain rather than committing the fate of not doing the thing.
Okay.
So it feels good to give, sure, but it means that you don't have that money to use.
I'll tell you something. For me, 10%, by the way, when he's talking about 10%, there's the idea that we give 10% of our,
Post-tax.
of our net.
Yeah.
Is that the word, net?
Yeah, net.
10% of our net gain. If you make 100,000 a year, you have to pay taxes and company expenses, all that kind of stuff, and you only walk away with 65 or 70.
You also get to pay your mortgage before you pay taxes and stuff like that for your required living.
I cannot confirm or deny what you said, but let's say.
Okay, I can.
Let's say there are those that say that. I'm not positing that one, but the point is, let's say you walk away net at the end of the day with $70,000. That means a year. That means 7,000 of that is given away to charity. That can be very painful. Yeah, thinking like you make $10, you gotta give $1. Okay, $1. Like 100, give away 10. 1,000, give away 100. Well, hold on a second. Slow down. Like, what's going on here? 100,000, 10,000. A million, 100,000. 100 million. Say it lower. Lower. No, 100 million. Right? How does that feel? Lower. How does that feel? Right? So, hey, there you go. Do I know? No, there you go. So, I'm asking anybody here. If somebody asks you for like your heads in dollars or shekel.
US dollars.
Someone says, bro, like collecting money for something, can you spare some, what do they say? Can you spare some change? Why did they say change? Why not bills? Someone's giving bills, right? It's like, can you spare some change?
Yeah.
Bro, can you spare some bills?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? No, I mean like, bond for bond. You can go bond for bond. I mean like, give me some real bills over here. So someone on the street asks you for $1, would you do it?
Yeah.
What if that same person said $5?
Yeah, you definitely want to.
10.
Well, you can give them whatever you want to give them.
No, what do you want to
it
give?
becomes a point.
If you want to give them $1, then give them $1 even if they ask for 10, because giving 100 people $1 is better than giving one person $100.
Oh, you get Rambam. Very nice. But that's assuming you actually do that. It's like very nice. Someone's like, no, I'm only giving you $1 because giving $1 to 100 people is better. And then no one else asks you. So then you end up giving $1. Yeah. Right? Really, you give it once, give 100, then give, right? There's a threshold for every person. The question is, what's the threshold?
Yeah.
So we're meant to, what do I mean we're meant to? It's worth it to go through that pain rather than have to deal with an appliance breaking. Right? Or your car getting smashed.
Yeah.
Or breaking a leg, whatever it is. Since we need to go through pain, why not choose your pain and double dip? What do I mean by that? choose your pain, get up early to daven. So now you get the reward for getting up to daven, and you get the taking off of your pain account because it was hard to get up in the morning. Say Kriya Shema Lamita before you go to bed. You know you're about to fall asleep. Just get up and say Shema and nighttime Shema. It's painful, but you're choosing your pain and you're double dipping. Again, it's gross for the person afterwards has to deal with your saliva, but you get the double dip.
Why is getting up early double dipping in addition to the davening? Because isn't the davening the thing? Why is getting
Right? No. What I mean to say is like this. Let's say if you're dealing.
Oh, you're saying if getting up early is painful and
Right.
davening is painful.
Well, it also depends on certain people, what they're used to and not used to, whatever it is, right? So let's say a person gets up and they'll quickly throw in their tefillin, you know what I mean? Because they feel like throw it on, throw it off. Why are you doing that? Go to shul. Nah, it's hard. Oh, it's hard. It's painful. Good. Do it. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to say is get up earlier in order to make sure that's part of your day.
Why is that important? Why is it important to feel that pain?
It's not that it's quote unquote important. It's just more. 1 second. Were you here the whole time?
No, I came in late.
Okay,
Sorry.
so no problem. Look, so I just want to make sure. So as long as we back up just a moment. When we do something that we're not allowed to do, or we lack doing something we're supposed to be doing, as in not doing a mitzvah or doing an aveira, when we do such things, there's that act that now causes a rift between us and God, and in order to fix that, we have to do tshuva. Tshuva is what we just saw back in Gemara before. Was not just 30, 40 minutes ago when we said almost 34 minutes, 32, 33, whatever they said. The Gemara thinking that he says when a person does an affair and then they have charat, they feel bad about it, genuinely, when they really feel bad about it, immediately they're forgiven. So that rift is brought back together. We didn't spell that out last time, but that rift is now mended. It's better. And you know how better it is? It's better. It's over. Move forward. You're good. Not like people. People, you have to let it linger. We like to hold on to things, and that's why we kind of project our own self and our experiences on God. And we're like, if I have a problem with you, we get into some issue over here, and then I'm saying, bro, I'm sorry, like, bro, but you did, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, no, bro, look, I'm sorry, like, all right, cool, now that, you know what I'm saying? Bet, we good, yeah. But there's still a little bit, like, and I said, like, bro, we're really cool. Like, I'm not certain if you're really okay, and you're not even certain if you're okay, right? God doesn't have self-esteem issues. God's cool. As soon as we're real, it's over immediately. You understand how crazy that is? Remind me to speak about that, the light on Shabbos in a minute, okay? So that's one thing. One aspect is the aspect of the fact that we caused the rift, but we mended that rift. But there's also something else, and that's that we got to fix up what we did. And that means to say that, like, it's true that our relationship is good, but we still did impact our soul at a certain level that we need to go through a certain level of pain to fix. Mm-hmm. So now you have two choices. That pain could be losing money, relationship issues, whatever it is, or you could choose your pain. And it comes out of the same account.
Who says this?
Chassam Sofer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to afterwards try to find where it is to know where he's coming from. It's probably worthwhile to see that. But he goes and he spells this out, this concept very clearly. Pushing yourself to do things that are uncomfortable, not just randomly get up and I woke up early to work out. That's not taking off your pain account. Taking off your pain account is going through the pain in the area of growth, and that could be, maybe that's also, I don't mean just growth like, yeah. But certainly in the area of Judaism. So I push myself and I go through pain of going to a shiur that I didn't want to go to. Mm-hmm. Meaning I wanted to, but I didn't want to. I want, but I don't really want, right? It's just push yourself, feel that pain, and it takes off of that idea. So not only did we fix that, now, let's say I did nothing wrong. Should I still do that? The answer is, yeah. You also gave in that area. According to your pain is your reward. In which case, it's definitely in those areas. That's the whole discussion that we're having. Okay, now, yeah, what do you got?
I've been thinking a lot lately. My father, he puts on tefillin every day, but he said just a Shema. But for him, it's like a big thing. You know what I mean? Like he's not a religiously educated person.
Tell me something. How long have you seen your father doing this?
A few years. So I guess.
How many years?
3, 4.
Think again. Before Corona or after Corona?
Before.
How many years?
Okay, a while.
We're not real with numbers, right? So you mean at least 6. Keep going. How many years?
A while.
How many? How old are you?
28.
How old are you when you first remember him doing this? Before your bar mitzvah or after your bar mitzvah?
No, it was after.
Oh.
I must have been like, okay, 20. So say 8 years.
Okay.
I'm not excusing that. I'm definitely.
I'm not saying nothing. You're just taking from my words. Oh man, I didn't say nothing.
Definitely, there's less resistance than there was initially. But what I can say is that for him, I think it's like it means more than it would to me. You know, I mean, I can't speak for God,
Okay.
but my point is like there is more resistance there for him to be saying more. You know,
Yeah.
so like, does that mean that he gets more reward because there is more pain there?
Yes.
Okay.
The Fum Sarah Agro. But I thought you were going somewhere else with this, which we're about to rip into your dad big.
Yeah.
We're going to rip him a new one. You know what I'm saying? We're going to open this up. The concept of Lefum Tzara Agra means you grew up religious or secular?
Traditional.
Okay.
Or secular.
Okay. You grew up keeping all the laws of Shabbos?
No.
Okay. So I did. I grew up eating kosher. I ate kosher. When it came to Shabbos, I kept Shabbos my whole life. When it came to kosher, I kept kosher my whole life. When it came to girls, I kept Shabbos my whole life. So I have to understand that for me to keep Shabbos, or you to keep Shabbos, it's going to be more difficult for you than for me. Maybe now not, maybe you're doing it now, I don't know, but let's go back to the beginning. It's going to be more difficult than for me. You get more reward. That doesn't mean I meant to make things difficult for me, but trust me, there are areas in life that are easier for you and harder for me. Right? Perhaps your temperament is a little bit more chill and I'm a little bit more rambunctious. Let's say I have more of a temper and you've less of a temper. So for me to hold back from saying something, for you to hold back from saying something for 9 days, I get more reward for holding back than you do. Well, that's not fair. It's not fair. It just is what it is. It's not rocket science. It's actually really clearly understood. It's getting rid of this place. But it's clearly understood, this concept, right? Okay, that's the from Tzaraga, kosher. I don't have a challenge with kosher. There's no challenge. It's like when I drive by a place, and my wife is from Canada, so when I would drive from New York to Canada, and it's a 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive, depending on who's driving. And for me, it's usually 9 hours, so I fall asleep like crazy, so I just like on the side of the road. Those have saved me many times. At least twice I remember. Holy moly, one of them was scary. Okay, but anyway, point is that, let's say 7-hour drive. Right in the middle, you got like not right in the middle, but somewhere in the middle is like New Baltimore. It's like look at a big rest stop, whatever it is. You got Albany on the way, you can stop off. There's like all these different stores. Stretch legs, use the bathroom, buy a drink, whatever it is. Wendy's, McDonald's, Five Guys, is that a thing?
Yeah.
5 guys, 5 girls. No, not a thing yet.
No.
Anyway, the point yet. Anyway, so
I'm not buying it.
five Melech. Anyway, the point is that I never ever had in my head, should I? Ah, man, this is hard. It's so cheap. It smells so good. I'll just buy it and smell it. And says, no, I don't have that challenge. And that's not because I'm great. That's just it's how I was raised.
In fact, you kept strict kosher your whole life.
Totally, 100%. It was never. My father's a rabbi. There was never not of a synagogue. Maybe he had smicha. He said fundraiser. He works whatever it is. But he said like that's just not my challenge. Oh, but trust me, ask God challenges. And if any of my kids or wife are watching this, keep it down, all right? But I got challenges. So everyone according to where they are, that's what they have. Now, what do I mean by your papa? Big papa. Now that's amazing, just the way he is.
Not patting him on the back, but
In the beginning, you have to understand the following. At a certain point, you got to keep growing. Right? There's going to be a reality that the first thing that you do when you start all beginnings are difficult. And if it's not difficult, it means you haven't begun. All beginnings are difficult. So what your dad is doing is, certainly if you grew up in a non-religious or traditional type of environment, where they weren't all putting on tefillin every day, what he's doing is a fantastic. Bro, it's time to up your game now. It's 8
Sure,
years,
I
you know?
agree.
No, don't you dare agree. You're not allowed to agree because you have to give honor to your father. I'm going to say, you say, how dare you? Okay, so he's got up his game.
What's wrong with you?
There you go. Right? But maybe he doesn't have to yet. I don't know. That only he can know. You understand? And well, only God can know, and he can try to find out the truth. You know. But every one of us, and by the way, this is not I'm not off the hook. I'm just in a different zone. But I also have to be up in my game. What are we doing? What are we doing with our lives? You know what's crazy? Is that people, we're all gonna die. You know, it's gonna happen.
What's crazy about that?
It's actually not so crazy, you're right.
Yeah.
But what I meant by crazy is that it's sobering, and it's. I have a student who a few weeks ago told me that he's living here in Israel. He's married, he's got a kid, whatever he's living here, but he might go back. He might move back to the States at some point, and it was unclear when. This year, maybe next year, whatever it is. Recently, we were having a conversation, and he said that he might be leaving sooner than he thought. And I said, okay. He's like, whoa, I really gotta. I have a deadline. I gotta start buckling down. And whatever I want to accomplish while I'm here, I gotta start like doubling down and doing that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the answer is, yeah. I was like, so what do you want to do? He's like, he knew what he wanted to do, but he knew exactly how to. How can we have the conversation? Stop and think about this. Like, I'll tell you something that amazes me. I have a neighbor. I hope he sees this, because then it can open up the conversation. Although this neighbor would totally have this conversation with me. He's a real good guy, chiller. Maybe he's not a good guy. I don't know. Maybe he's a killer. I don't know. He seems like a good guy. You know, like he seems like a good guy. I actually spoke to him just last night. I saw him. We were both at the supermarket. This is so on me because this guy is so. We were neighbors for almost 20 years. This guy would be totally open to learning, to talking, whatever, to learn about life, about Judaism. I don't really understand his background at all. He's, I think, Jewish. Knows a lot of Jewish stuff, but clearly is not observant to the extent of what I mean by observant, right? I'm sure he does it, maybe. I'm not sure, but perhaps he does Kiddush, you know, and he does certain things. I see that. And yesterday I saw him, and he's very artistic. He's an artist, and I saw him at the supermarket, and it was on a street, a couple of streets above where we live. And I always see him walking around. He's always walking the streets, like looking, like he's like different. My kids claim he works at the CIA. We're on to, right? It's just like taking notes, and it's very, abstract type of. Okay. So I saw him yesterday going to the supermarket. I'm like, what are you doing up here? I said, you're doing something like, looking for a new angle, art, whatever. He was like, no, I'm buying groceries, Just sometimes you gotta be practical. I said, that must be difficult. I said, yeah, it's kind of like, that's what marriage is for, to ground you. He said, it's a Seder to make Teshuva, 10 days of repentance. I guess it's time to be practical. And over the years, we've had conversations about Shabbos, about Yom Kippur, about Sukkot, and whatever. But a few minutes at a time, as I'm walking by, he lives a few doors down, right? And I never sat with him for an extended period of time. And I know this is going to be on my, and God's going to be like, bro, he's right next to you. Like, why don't you go and take care of it? I say, well, okay. But I thought to myself last night after he said this to me, like I said to me, Teshuva, I was like, if you know that means you know stuff, right? The things you know. And then, like, how much information does this guy, he's in his 40s, late 40s. How much information do you know? A lot. When did you compile that information? Right, so let's say, for example, where are you from?
Los Angeles,
You grew up observant, secular.
Reformed culture.
You knew stuff about Judaism and things like that.
Yeah.
You connected with the synagogue, the temple, whatever it is, right? The base of your information comes from When and where?
Yeah, just religious school, like Tuesday. And
How old are you?
26.
You're 26 years old. So let's say that from ages like 5 or even younger, 3, older,
No, I'm saying whatever.
7, 8.
7, 8, yeah.
Okay. Until what age were you in school learning about Judaism?
14, 15-ish, because I was doing like.
Would you say you know a lot about Judaism, or relatively speaking to the world?
Now or back then?
Back then.
You
You know what Shabbos was?
Yeah,
You know the holidays?
not all of them.
Some of them. The ones that you did know, you knew about them. You knew stuff. We all have an information base. Every one of us. Most of it came many years ago. Some of you started over again, you started over, so you learned a lot more. But there's so much information that we know. There's also so much more that we can know. We kind of like graduate at like 13.
Yeah.
And that's it. In the Reform world,
More or less.
13 is graduation. Because 13, you have to learn your bar mitzvah. And then after that, they leave you alone. You have to go to Hebrew school till you're 13. You hate every second of it. And then at 13, you are now done with Judaism. In Orthodoxy, it's the opposite. We start at 13, and you're done when you die. You understand? It's like, we'll let you chill till you're 13. And even then, we're pushing you. But at 13, that's when things get real. There's so many things that we could know. Like, why do we stop? So let's say, for example, your dad, your Q.
What about my dad?
Yeah. So your dad, when your dad did what he did, he broke through a barrier, which is an amazing thing. The problem is if now he just rides that, then he's just what he was before the
Right.
barrier. And every one of us, like if we stop where we are, including myself, if you stop where you are, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's over. We're gonna die. We have things we have to accomplish, things we have to get done, and death is not over. If it'd be over, you'd be like, so we'll die, it'll be over. No. Then you go to the next level. And that next level is whatever you know, whatever you built. What do you got?
I think the reason that I'm bringing him up even is because it's honestly something that's been on my mind, and I want to be careful with my words because I do want to respect him.
I don't want to. You do respect him.
The thing is, I feel like in a lot of ways, not just in this, but this is like a perfect example. It's like I feel like he's become kind of complacent in his
Yeah.
life.
As you do as well.
Right.
So do I.
And so I think that like even me trying to suggest something to him, he'll be like, nah, not really. Like it's not like.
No problem. That's
So-
his own problem. So send him this video.
But
Grow up.
I think that he just doesn't realize it. You know what I mean? Like.
Let me explain something to you. I'm not exonerating. How do I say that in regular English?
Like you said, absolving.
Excusing.
Yeah.
Absolving, that's better.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not excusing, right, his behavior. And I'm not saying it's okay. But I just want
That's what daddy talking
but I want to level the playing field. You're also unaware in certain areas
Sure.
of your life, and when you're approached, you go, nah. We all have that. So the question is now to try to find where's the opening, because you have an opening also. The question is, where's your dad's opening? And if he doesn't want it, then he doesn't want it. It's his life. Do whatever you want. But really, what we should be taking from those experiences is we should be learning from that, and flipping it on ourselves, and saying, so where am I closed? Where am I not growing? Where have I stopped? Where have I never opened? You understand? Okay, so then keep, gotta pray, daven, that you should see, Galei vavita niflos midoros, and open my eyes and let me see the beauty of your Torah. And to be able to open our minds to some ideas. We're closed, we're blind, we don't see certain things. Emotionally closed, physically closed, spiritually closed. A lot of, klipas. A lot of, how do you say that? Husks. A lot of peels, a lot of layers that are covered. Yo, so the number one thing should be, hold on a second, flip a room. I'm looking at the man in the mirror. If you want to do Teshuva, then do it today. Change your life, live the right way. Oh, ooh, ah, ooh. Yeah. You got that move? I can only do it sitting. I should say anything. Now he's doing a lie. Anyway, so that's what it comes down to, is that, yeah, everyone was there. And with him, yeah, it's true. Some of us, we settle. And Berkowitz is very big on this. Don't settle for mediocrity. Never settle. Never give up, don't you worry. You got what?
So this.
So we rode this wave. We went way off. Like,
Yeah.
We're off the derech again.
Where are we? But so I get all this. I agree with that. I see how that's also taken its shape in my life as well. And I guess my question is this idea of the pain going to, and I see that more as we more said, meeting discomfort, embracing discomfort, and taking challenges, and always pushing ourselves to grow. What I've experienced in my life is that I've been able to reframe these discomforts and challenges as not necessarily painful. If you can begin to embrace them, you see how I'm going with this?
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
I said, there's still the challenge. That's what we mean.
Yeah, it's a challenge. Okay.
There's the challenge.
Yeah.
We're pushing through something.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's already, so you say okay, that's not pain, tzedakah, not pain.
Right.
For me, for my kids when they babysit,
Yeah.
they make 30 shekel, they take off 3 shekel. It'll never be a challenge for them to give nicer, to give 10% of their money. It will be a challenge for anyone here who never gave 10% of your money, and now all of a sudden you got to give me 10% of your money.
Right.
But I gave 10% of my money since I'm little, so therefore,
Right.
and I was not as little as my kids, but when I was already probably in my late teens, then I accepted I'm going to do this, and then when I got older and I started working and actually making some money, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a little more painful than whatever.
Right.
But still, I already had that opening. For my kids, it was it's just automatic. It was never my money.
Right.
Right, so therefore it was never whatever. Okay.
But can I reframe that? I think
Sure.
just would you agree that as we go through life and get more used to taking on challenges and going out of our comfort zone, that we have the capacity to reframe our relationship with challenge and discomfort, so that it is something that we can just more so embrace, even though it is a challenge?
The answer is certainly, and that's why there'll be a lot less challenges for that person than the average person, where everything is a challenge. However, you're not going to grow from those experiences that aren't the challenge.
Right.
So in which case, it doesn't matter who you are. Again, you're just moving the mark.
Yeah.
Right. So for you, your tolerance is much higher.
Yeah.
But there is a threshold, and
Right.
whatever for you, you're going to have to hit that threshold to actually grow.
Yeah.
It's like everything in life.
Right,
You know? It's
right.
like a person smokes too much, and eventually you smoke more, right? And you build a tolerance. You have to go till it actually is going to impact you. Then you're not impacted anymore.
Right.
It becomes a gram, an ounce, a pound, a kilo, a stone, and then What are you guys talking about? Weight, putting on weight. You eat too much.
What did Rav Gav teach you about this morning, guys? How much weed do you have to smoke?
What are you talking about? Shalom. I cannot believe. Teshuva. Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Peeps, listen, there's a lot more to talk about. We're not together until after Yom Kippur, I think till after the holidays, and some of you, for some reason, are going back to your wife or kid, which is strange. You do what you gotta do. I think I'm doing that also today. Do it every day, usually.
Usually.
But in any event, with wishes, I want to wish all y'all Happy New Year as we got, and happy atonement. You should have a happy atonement. And you should be blessed with happy. All y'all should be happy. But as we're saying now, realize the fact when it comes to tshuva, with us and God, we have the ability of changing, and God accepts it immediately because He doesn't have emotional issues. We are the ones with emotional issues, and when we get over that issue, we realize, oh my goodness, God actually loves me so much that He's just waiting for me to come back. At the moment that I do that, it's set, it's finished. I'll just leave you with one idea, just to understand something from the perspective, just to bring it home on an emotional level. I heard this from a rabbi in LA. I just don't remember what he said. So I'm going to tell you from someone else that said a similar idea. I really want the LA one though, but Ari Ben Shushan, you know that is Ari Ben Shushan? He says such a powerful idea once. Maybe he said it more than once. I heard once though. But I did hear just a few days ago from an Israeli rabbi, his name is Rabbi Yitzhak Fanger. You know Rabbi Fanger? Yitzhak Fanger. Amazing. Really, really good speaker. And he said a story that when he was younger, he was by the beach. He spent a lot of time by the beach. And if I remember, if I heard the story correctly, he was actually there when this happened, and he was watching a father and a son walk towards the beach, towards the ocean. The father saw a friend of his, and he said, "Oh, hey!" and he starts talking. Hi, and he gets so caught up talking, he doesn't notice that his son was wanting to go to the beach, wanted to go to the water, and his son walked away and starts going towards the ocean. He's a little boy. And the father is just talking away. Didn't even notice the kid wasn't there next to him. Goes into the water. Kid goes into the water. And one of the lifeguards is watching, sees this happening, and the kid gets taken by the waves, but it wasn't so intense, but goes out and pulls the kid, brings him back to the what do you call it? The watchtower.
Lifeguard tower.
Lifeguard tower. So like Jimi Hendrix. And so he was all along that lifeguard tower. Anyway, he brings him to the lifeguard tower, and he's calling over the loudspeaker like, the father of Jacob, Abba Shel Yaakov, Le'emdat Hatzalah, to come to like the lifeguard tower. He's still so engrossed in this conversation, and then like he's like, what? He looks, didn't see his kid. He looks at Joshua, is it? Then he hears like Abba Shel Yaakov, father of Jacob, come to the lifeguard tower, and he goes running, and his son sees him, and there's this emotional embrace where they come and they meet one another, and he couldn't help but look at this. So the father would be like, "What are you doing? You're going to the water yourself. What are you?" No, that's not the thought. The thought is like, "Thank God you're okay, and you came back to me, and we're good." And he said that's only for 10 minutes. Imagine it was a year, or 5 years, or 10 years, and some people 20 years or 25 years, but they come back. You say you think okay, does God forgive me? The answer is, are you kidding me? God is waiting for you to come back. He wants so badly that you just come back.
Wow.
Like, what about all the stuff that I did? The answer is, are you mischaring? Do you feel bad that you did such a thing? The answer is, of course I do. It's over. We're together. Okay, there's certain things we have to go through to just fix things up a little bit, but the answer is, it's bad. So when you come and approach Yom Kippur, understand that Rosh Hashanah was the day of judgment. Yom Kippur is the day of atonement. God is our Father, and He loves us more than you can imagine what the concept of love means. Everything else is just an analogy. And we go into that perspective. When we did Chashukot, we spoke about that concept. Whatever, I have too much time for it. But the point is that when you recognize that love and whatever, so you walk into Yom Kippur with another look. It's like, okay, I feel good, And now let's just work things out a little bit. Rosh Hashanah was about, I'm in the game, I'm committed, God, I want this to work. Yom Kippur is like, let's work out all these issues. I want to go through them and say, I apologize, I'm going to work on that, we can change that, whatever it is. So go in that perspective. It doesn't have to be a hard day of like suffering, whatever it is. Although there is suffering, not eating, that's called Inoi, and not doing certain things. However, the focus is meant to be on that spiritual level where I'm connected. So take advantage of it. It's an incredible opportunity. It's not like it's an opportunity to be able to strengthen that relationship with yourself, with Hashem. Happy New Year. Peace. You tell your father, okay? I'm not sure what to tell him. We got a lot of people we got to say.